Good morning, coders. Hope you're all doing well and staying safe and feeling good. I'm an hour late because I overslept, so apologies for that. Today what I want to do is work through the code notes some more. Let me just put the tunes on. That one. I want to work through some more of the code notes because we've got a lot to do. And I was thinking this morning that there is there's more code notes to do than there will be streams probably next year. So or at least there's going to be more code notes to do than there is weekends to to do one a weekend, that kind of thing. So I kind of want to do a code note per stream if possible, at least one. And I'm in the wrong thing here. This is the repository for code notes. So for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, a code note is this thing. If we go to the beta.howtocodewell site, so this isn't live. This is live, but it's live for the beta users. If we were to log in here, and then click on a course. So let's say for example, we're going to do the PHP and MySQL course today. So if I clicked on here, then you can see the course, the tutorial, and you can see the list of tutorials here. But the code notes are these things here. So they go at the bottom. So you've got code notes and you've got transcripts. And I've been working through this course. However, I haven't published it yet. So we're going to probably do another one of these, but I'll give you a demonstration of one that does exist. If we go back to courses and HTML for beginners and click on here, we have these notes. So they're just simple markdown files, really, that give a little bit more information to the learner about what the video is sort of explains. So it's a way of actually seeing the code that was done in the video and also bridge any knowledge gaps that there may be. So for instance, with the hyperlinks here, we have a list of how you would do hyperlinks, the different targets, for example, what the targets mean, relative URLs, titles and tooltips, those kind of things. And we're going to be doing, so there's at the moment, there is, sorry, I was having a look at a labeler. Let's get rid of that for a second. I was looking at the PHP MySQL one. And I think we did number 4. I just picked it out randomly. There we go. So we did that last time. And we were going to do another one for this particular course as well. And the way it works is that we've got this is called front matter that goes on each of the course notes, and you put in the course slug, the tutorial number, and the type here. So the type could either be transcript or a note. And this is the slug of the actual tutorial. That's that's the slug of the course, and then that's the tutorial number. And it's when Gatsby pulls in all of this information, when it checks out this code, it checks out the course notes, it then makes that join, that association in GraphQL, that this is for this particular course and this is for this tutorial. So for example, if I went over to course notes and had had a look at the HTML for beginners, go into the notes here, you'll see that they're all named by the tutorial. But if I was to click into here, we can see that this is HTML for beginners, that's the course slug, and that's the tutorial number. And if I clicked on number 5, for example, you will see that that's number 5. So yeah, little posts that get pulled in when the Gatsby site gets built and then gets popped into this part here. And of course, we do have a few transcripts that I will need to sort of go in and tidy up and move around, but I'm more focused on the notes at the moment. So we've got something like 16 courses, 125 tutorials, meaning 125 notes. That's what I meant when I started this stream, when I said we've got more notes than there will be probably days of streaming in 2021, potentially. Plus, if you think of all the tutorials that I put out on a monthly basis, so if I was to do one tutorial a day, that's an extra tutorial to go out. So I would need to do at least two course notes per week to actually put a dent in this. Otherwise, it'll just keep building up. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I think this is probably going to be how the streams are going to be for the foreseeable, I think. So I'll start by doing a course note, and then I'll get into the code. So good morning, Tyrannid. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you're well. I hope you've had a good Christmas. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit croaky this morning. I haven't had a cup of tea yet. It's there. It's just cooling down. Okay, so the one I want to deal with is the, as I said, the PHP MySQL jobby. Oops, let's come out of this. Notes. They're always too short. They are. They're all too short. Definitely. Oops. PHP MySQL. Go on to notes. We might as well start at the top. Let's do number one. Okay. So what I'm going to do, excuse me, is we'll do a pull request for this. We'll create a branch at least. So let's just set that up. I've called it, for some reason, I've called it course notes, where it's supposed to be code notes, but whatever. Let's do a git checkout -b. Let's do features. So I should say that this is all open source. So if you want to create a course note yourself, then you're more than welcome to. Check out features B, and we're going to do. We'll find out what the issue number is, because what I've been doing is I've been creating issues per note, so you can pick one of these. So let's do PHP MySQL. Let's see if that finds anything. Yeah, it does. Okay, so it's all of this. So I've labeled them all by the course, and by missing code notes, documentation, and a good first issue. So we're going to deal with number one here, and this is, I think this is, yeah, number 67. So we're going to do 67, and we're going to put in connect PHP MySQL. Sweet. Okay, so this is all about connecting to, making that connection. Bear with me a second. I'm getting some static. I think next year will be, I need to get invest in another mixer, because I'm getting a horrible build up of static. And I have to take the headphone jack out and then put back in. It's very annoying. Okay. Right. Enough of that. Yeah, so this is making a connection, isn't it? So this is all about connecting. I'm going to bring up some, because it's just early in the morning and I'm still slowly waking up. Let's just grab some Googleness. MySQL, and it's MySQL I. Connect. Let's see if we can get to the actual documentation, which we do have here. That's all good. So there's this way of doing it, which is the functional way, and I believe, is there not another way to do it through the construct? Yeah. Yeah, so there we go. We instantiate a new instance of MySQL I, putting in the localhost, the username, password, and the database. And this is important. We've got to make sure that we do a connection. So there's two ways of, so we can check if there's a connection error. So there's two ways of doing it. There's the functional way, which is this one here. Which is just an alias of the objectual way. Objectual way, is that a word? So we should really put down both of them. to be fair. Okay. So let's go over to here, and let's go into here, and click on the notes, click on the first one. Let's get rid of all of this, and then put down there are two ways to connect to MySQL via PHP using MySQLi, right? Because obviously there's PDO and all that. And then we can list them. So we've got functional, and we've got object. So let's do functional, and then let's do object. Now I can't spell orientated. Orientated, there we go. Object orientated. So two ways to do it, through objects or through functional. A functional means. Let's just see if the wording is slightly different on this one. Procedural and object oriented. Yes, let's do procedural rather than functional, because that makes more sense, doesn't it? Excuse my slowness this morning. Okay, so we'll do the procedural first. I'm not a fan of the procedural way. You know, when I'm wherever I can, I try and use object orientation. But let's try and let's have a look. So we pass in the link. Now I'm going to do something different here. We're going to do connection, because essentially that's what it is, rather than because they're saying it's a link to MySQL. I'm going to do connection, right? So connection, and we're going to equal that to MySQL I underscore connect. Is that the thing? Yeah, it is the thing. I can't spell MySQL, can I? Okay, we pass in the host name. So let's just create host name. We also connect to that's the username, isn't it? And this is the password. And also the database. Let me just see, what's the arguments on this? That's the wrong thing, Pete. That's the wrong thing. There we go. Host name, username, password, database, port, or socket. Okay. So we'll create some variables up here. So we'll do host name, username, password, and database. We'll also do port, and we'll also do socket. Yeah, and we'll also pass these in to here. So we've got hostname, username, password, database, port, and socket. And I believe that the socket and the port are optional because they use the default, so we should put that in. So there are two ways to connect to MySQL via PHP using MySQLi. Using the MySQLi extension, because that's what it is. Both require the hostname, username, database, think. Yes, of course. Yes, it's only the command line that you don't need the database. Both require username, hostname, username, database parameters. Okay, and then the port and socket are optional. Okay. So here is an example of connecting to my SQLi using the MySQL connect function. Okay, so let's put in the host name. The host name, let's do localhost. The username, let's do root. The password, let's do my password. The database, we're going to do my DB. The port, it's usually 3306, isn't it? 330. That's 220. 3306. And the socket is, I can't remember. That might have it. Okay, that's cool. You can use the iniget, the default stuff. I didn't realize that. Yeah, host name, username, password, database, port, and the socket. Specifying the socket parameter will not explicitly determine the type of connection to be used when connecting to my SQL server. However, how the connection is made to the database is determined by the host parameter. Returns, okay. Do we have any examples of using the socket here? So they've got no. Can't create. Usually variable order sockets in UTCP. This is because localhost will make it. Okay. Fine. Okay, no worries. I won't bother with the socket, I don't think. Okay, so that's required, that's required, that's required, that's required. That's the port, which is also optional. Let's put in optional. I will do socket, actually. Okay, and then what we should do is to check the well, both procedural and the object orientation way. We should check whether or not there is an error, and they're done slightly differently. However, and we need to close the connection. So obviously, with this, we would run the connect error job to get the connection errors, and then with this one, we get connect underscore error, which does the same thing as this. I'm just wondering how best to put that down on the docs, because I'm kind of splitting these out here. So I tell you what we should do is, let's just define them underneath. So to check for an error, for a connection error, use the MySQL underscore connect underscore error function. So we'll do the same thing here. PHP if connect error, then we do a die. Connection error, and we supply that. There we go. Excellent. And we can also get the error number as well. Let's do that. And that. There we go. That's better, isn't it? That looks better. So to check for a connection error, use the MySQL error function. Each error to get the error number function. To get the error number, use the error number function. Call the okay. All right, now so let's do the same thing but in the PHP world. So to check for a connection error, use the connect error method. To get the error number, call the connect error method. There we go. Actually, I need to actually do make the connection, don't I? Let's just put that in just to remind me. I'm going too far, aren't I? Okay, so this is this would be based on the connection that we will be doing shortly. Connection connect error. So this will be that in here. It's not a method, is it? It's a property. Yeah, it's a property. To check for the connection error, use the property. Yes, it's not a method, it's a property. Silly me. Call the to get the error number. Oh, that's fine. So that's good, and then we need to actually get back this as well. So we'll put that in here. No, that's wrong. Sorry, it needs to be this one. Beg your pardon. And this is connection in here. And we need to actually establish the connection. Let's do that before I go too far ahead. PHP. Come on. PHP. Oh, come on, Pete. Let's change that to connection. And let's change this to be host. Change that to be user. Name, let's change that to be password. And database. And we'll steal all of this up there. And that should be PHP. Okay, so we also need the the port and the socket, and I think this is it's the same thing, isn't it? Port and socket, yeah, it is. So we can do port and socket here. Okay, let's put in a little bit of spiel. So up here we've got here is an example of how to connect to using blah blah blah. So let's just copy that for a second. Let's also make some room down here. There we go, space it out a bit. And then down here we'll do the same. So here's an example of how to connect to MySQLi using, it's actually, yeah, of how to connect to MySQLi using the MySQLi object. This will create is it lowercase or is it uppercase? I can never remember. I thought it was uppercase for some reason. Let's just try something. N is equal to new my. No, it is lowercase. Yeah, it is lowercase. For some reason I thought it was upper. Oh well. Here's an example of how. Here's an example of connect. What? Here is an example of. Here is an example. Of I can't. My whole thing's gone out the window. Right. Here is an example of how. Here is an example. Of connecting to MySQLi using the MySQLi function. Here's an example of connecting to. Here's an example of connecting to MySQLi using the MySQLi object. This will create a MySQLi class instance. Okay, which is obvious, but whatever. And then we've got this bit here to check if for a connection error, use the connect error property to get the error number, call the property. Okay. So that's the connection here, that's the connection there, there, and there. That seems good. And then the last thing we need to do is close this off, isn't it? So that's the final thing. So let's go back to procedural. To close the MySQL connection, use the procedurally it's different. It is the MySQL close method. This use the MySQL close function, passing in and pass in the the connection. And just for completeness, we'll do a little example here, which even though that's self-explanatory, we'll put something in. I remember when I was learning how to do this, making my first connection to the database. I wasn't using MySQLi because back in those days we were just using straight MySQL, and it blew my mind. It was like, I can actually make a connection. It was almost like magic when I did it. But I can always remember forgetting to close the connections down. Right, it's this, isn't it? It's MySQL. Of course, nobody really worries about this anymore because it's all done in framework. So people who jump onto frameworks won't, before actually learning the nitty-gritty bits of connecting to these things, they'll just go, it's fine. It's connection, isn't it? Connection. Okay, and then we'll do the same. In fact, I'm thinking about maybe splitting these out even further into smaller chunks, but let's deal with that in a second. So down here we'll do to close the MySQL connection. Use it's the method on the connection, which is let's get the right one. This one. It's just this one. Close. Passing, and the connection is the connection object. So we run to close the MySQL connection, use the call the close method from the MySQL I class instance, like that. So what I'm thinking of doing, is breaking this up into smaller little bite-sized chunks. So we've got the procedural here. Let's do 1, 2, 3 connecting. Oh God, if I can spell today, it would be amazing. Let's have some tea. Let's power me up. Kind of wishing I drank that like half an hour ago. That's very cold. Okay, so connecting. Here's how connecting to the database, and we'll do the same one down here. I think that's probably a good way of doing it. And let's put out the other one. So that's connecting to the database. Scroll, scroll, scroll. This one here is checking for errors. Checking for connection errors. Errors, come on. And we'll do the same thing down here. This one. Okay, good. Connecting to the database, and then the last one is to closing the connection. 1, 2, 3. Closing the connection. There we go. Wonderful. Let's bring this out and actually have a look at it. Let's see what it looks like. So, for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason, the latest update of PHP Storm, and it might be the update of the plugin for the Markdown, keeps putting in these silly little sort of slashes, but these don't go up. They don't go up with the thing, which is fine. But I don't know why there's slashes, whatever. So here's an example of connecting to MySQL using the, let's go straight up to the top. So there are 2 ways to connect to MySQL via the PHP using, there are 2 ways to connect to MySQL, let's say it right. There are 2 ways to connect to MySQL via PHP using MySQL I, using the MySQL extension. Procedural and object-oriented. Both require the hostname, username, database. Both require the hostname, username. That should say and database parameters. Let's go and just quickly change that. Okay, so scroll back up. Yep, so both require hostname, username, and database parameters. The port and socket are optional. No, that's fine. Okay, so procedural, connecting to the database. So we'll put in a little bit of spiel in there. But here is an example of connecting to MySQL using the MySQL connect function. So ignoring these slashes that go in here. Let's have a look. So hostname, username, password, database, port, socket. These are all set to optional. That's good. We supply that. Okay, checking for errors. To check for a connection error, use the mysqli_connect_error function. To get the error number, call the mysqli_connect_error no function. Error no. That looks solid to me. And then closing the connection. To close the connection, MySQL connection, use the mysqli_close function and pass in the connection. Pass in the connection. Okay, passing in the connection variable. We should probably do it like that. Passing in. Where is this function? Passing in the connection variable. Okay, variable. Okay, where are we? Here. Okay, so then this is the object-oriented way. So we've got connecting to the database. Here is an example of connecting to the MySQLi using the MySQLi object. This will create a MySQLi class instance, which it does. So hostname, username, password, database, ports, socket, all those things. Okay, checking for connection errors. To check for a connection error, use the connect_error property. To get the error number, call the connect_error no property. I might put that on another line, maybe. Closing the connection. To close the MySQL connection, call the close method from the MySQLi class instance. And that's it. That is it. That is it. Sweet. All right, let's check. I want to put that on another line, I think, which is this one here. I want to put that on a new line. And although, does that matter with Markdown? No, it doesn't. I have to literally put it in. There we go. And this, where was it? This one here. I want to do that one too. Okay. Now I'm wondering if I can do this. So I'm wondering if we can actually use this like a table of contents. Let's have a go. It might be completely pointless, but let's try it. Let's try it. Checking for connection errors. It might be useful to some, I don't know. Closing the connection. Essentially, it's the same thing, isn't it? Each one, but it might be useful. Actually, no. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. What we should do, though, is we should put these as anchors. That's what we should do. So let's set this up as procedural. I think this is the right way of doing it. We'll see in a minute. And then this is object orientated. So I was going to use that like a table of contents, but really I don't see the point of it. There's not that much text here, to be fair, and the anchor points are more than enough, I think. So that would be hash, and then it would be object orientated, and I believe you put in a dash, don't you, for that? Let's just see. So if we clicked on object orientated, that should, I don't know if it's going to do it on this one. No. Okay. I think we can only see that on the actual, on an actual site. Anyway, let's see if we can get this up. We need to put in some front matter. That's what we need to do. So let's have a look at number 4. That's the one we did last time. We scroll to the top, copy this, go into there, and then we click on here. That's PHP MySQL and MySQL. Sorry, it's a type of note. It's tutorial 1, And I suppose that's it. I guess. Let's bump it up. Git status. Git commit -am, and we'll put in. Actually, first up. No. Let's just do it. Git commit am. Adding note, and it closes. Close is hash 67. That's why I put the issue number at the start, just to remind me what it is. Okay, git push origin, and where are we? Features 67 connect. Yada yada yada. Off it goes. Do, and then we go to GitHub, and we have a look at the course notes, and we should see that there's a pull request come through. Okay, it is a new. This is why I was looking at the Git labeler before. I would like to have this labeling things. Let's just change that to be spelt correctly. I would like this to be labeled properly. Automatically. But anyway, it isn't. Let's just have a quick look just to make sure that there isn't anything daft that I've left out. I don't think so. I think it's looking all good. Yep, that looks fine to me. Let's do a pull request. Merge that in. Yes, I am the admin, so I have the power to do so. Sweet. Let's get rid of the branch, and that should have also reduced, because I've done a closes. That should close 67. So that should go down to 58. Yeah, it does. Sweet. Okay, let's see if we can get this up on the actual website. So let's go to. What I need to do is go into the old. On my laptop here, this is where I'm sort of looking in the other direction. I'm going to just log on to the AWS console. Bear with me a second whilst I move all the things. So. No, I don't want to do on production. I want to do beta. Here we go. Click on beta, and then they keep giving me use AWS Amplify to handle the back end and stuff like that. No. Maybe one day, but not right now. Okay, so build number 87. Let's redeploy it. That should pull down the new change to that we've just done here. So I'm going to redeploy the beta site. Redeploy this version. And it's in the provisional stage. This shouldn't take that long, I hope. So this is now redeploying this site here. I'm gonna have a look at it whilst we do it, because have I made any changes to No, I think it's fine. Okay, so it's still doing the provision. It's a bit annoying because I have to keep watching this sometimes, because occasionally I get an error where the Docker image limit is hit, but luckily it looks like it's done. So it's provisioned, so it's pulled the node 14.5. So now it's in the build stage. So we will just have a look here. So it's cloning the repository. That seems like it's working its way through. And what happens, you see, is it it builds the portal site, and it pulls down these code notes during the build, and it then puts all these code notes into GraphQL as markdown files, as like the markdown remark stuff. And then once that's happy, it will merge, or it will sort of build each of these pages with the code notes as content in this section here. So it looks like it's doing, what's it doing? It looks like it's doing, it's just dealing with NPM, which can take an age. Of course, what it does, which is weird actually, it pulls down Node, and then it installs AWS Amplify CLI on that Node image, which is surprising really, because I would have thought that they would have had their own Node image AWS with the AWS Amplify installed in it and then cached, so I wouldn't have to pull it down all the time. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe I just haven't seen it. But with this, it seems to be. It seems to do a pulling it all down, and then it does an extraction, and then it's doing. Does some environment variable stuff. Then AWS. Aha! Right, that's done. So now it's doing the front end. So this is running through, this is installing all the NPM packages now. And now it's doing the pulling down the code notes. This is exciting. So I can actually see the output of all of these things. That's cool. So it's pulled out 3,900, it's on line 3,992. So now it's pulling down all the ghost pages. So this is all of the blog post stuff. That is so cool. I'm gonna have to turn that output off because it just returns a load of JSON, which is fine. I was debugging something as I was doing the build, but I've just obviously forgotten to remove that console log. Okay, so it seems to be, scroll to the top here. There we go, it seems to have done. Let's go back to the verify thing. Yeah, it's all there. So a really good thing with Amplify is once you've done the deployment, you can actually get it to do testing as well if you really want to, which we might do. I don't know. But anyway, just because there's other things that test the site, like Circle CI and stuff. But anyway, once it's done the deployment, it then does the verification. And what it does is it takes screenshots of the site at different versions. So you've got a Google Pixel, an iPad 2, an iPhone 7, an iPhone 8, and a Samsung 7. And it just shows you sort of a screenshot of what they will look like. Anyway, let's go and refresh the page. So let's do a shift refresh. Let's log in. And let's go to courses. And it was this one I was playing with. And let's click on this. Okay, so we don't seem to have... There we go. There we go. Excellent. So that is the note that we've just created. Now, that's interesting. So the links here are black. So that's a CSS thing. I just want to just double check whether these work. So let's click on the object orientated one down here. Yes, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't seem to be doing. It does change it, doesn't it, to object orientated. Do I have to put these in as anchors? How does that work? Let's have a quick look. GitHub, actually, it's Markdown. Markdown anchor. I thought it was just hash and then the name of the thing. So maybe I have to actually make that as a link. Markdown doesn't seem to mind where you put the anchor point. A useful place to put it is in the header, for instance. Okay. Note on self-closing ID versus name. Oh, right. Okay. Markdown header. Maybe I've forgotten that. Maybe I've forgotten to do that. That's a shame. Okay, let me create a pull request and we'll do the whole thing again. I also want to put in a bug because of the, well, if we can get this to work, I'll need to put in a bug for the link color being a bit funky. Yeah. Okay. So let's put in. We're still on that branch, so that's fine. Have I deleted it from GitHub? I forget. I think I might have done. Yeah, well, I've deleted it. That's fine. I can push this back up again. We'll just work on this one. That's fine. So it would be based on that example in the Stack Overflow post. It should be hash and then markdown header and then that, apparently, header. Okay, maybe I can get this to work on the actual IDE, I don't know. Let's see. So we click on object orientated. No, it doesn't work on the IDE. It's a shame that I can't. Well, I suppose I could build this locally. Couldn't I? It saves putting it up to the, pushing it up all the time, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't take that long to push up. Let me just double check. The URL before each of the anchor reference is optional, i.e. some markdown header paragraph is equivalent to some text. Right. Okay, they're saying it's in Bitbucket. It might be different. I tell you what, it's going to be one of those things, isn't it, where it's going to be very sort of like take me to. Maybe I should just use A tags. I don't know. Okay, someone's created a gist for this. So create an anchor, anchors in Markdown. Add characters between each of the words in the heading and wrap them in value brands. Anchor in Markdown, create an anchor. Isn't that what I just did though? Right. Okay, so let's have a look at the code for this. Let's see on the README as raw. Okay, so we've got getting started with Markdown, getting started with Markdown headers. So there isn't a Markdown prefix at all here. It's just titles, paragraph, list, list checkbox is list checkbox. I'm wondering if it's actually because I'm using subheaders. Yeah. Unless there's an example here of using subheaders, but there doesn't seem to be. Table align, let's have a look at that. Table align, there's two hashes, and there's one hash there. So if we went back to here, it should be that we have, instead of the these markdown header jobbies, it should just be procedural, and it should be object orientated, which is what we had before. So object orientated is this one, and they lowercase the text, and procedural is this one. Procedural is spelled correctly. Sorry, just having a look at the chat. Sorry, Tyrannid. Did I integrate the authentication via Gatsby? Yes. Isn't the header on the link? Yeah, yes, should be. There's an additional space after object orientated. There is, that's correct. That's true. That's very true. And procedural would just go down to here, right? So that would be, so maybe that was the issue. I think you've spotted the issue. I think there was the space there, and obviously procedural is going to be on the fold, right? On the first, so yeah, I think that's done it. Let's push that up. Git status, it's just that one. Git add, git commit. Let's do fixing links. And actually, before I do a commit, let's just see. Click on that. Does that go down? No, it doesn't. I don't think it works in the IDE. It would be nice if it did, though. Let's push that up and actually see if that does anything. Git push. Of course, I've got to do a pull. Let's do a git push to. Okay, let's go back up to here, go into there, click on the course notes, click on the branches, and do a pull request. Yep, and I've just moved that down. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I think that's the issue. We'll keep the branch open just in case, though. Let's go back to yeah, that's fine. Let's go back over to the AWS console and then redeploy the version again. Thank you very much. Yeah, so how did I get the authentication working? You asked a question, didn't you, about did you integrate the authentication via Gatsby? Is this are you talking about the integration of the code notes and Gatsby? Yes, I used a plugin which was called, or is called, it's not was called, what is called, new window. The plugin that we used is in Gatsby config, and it is GitHub, source Git. There we go. So you install the plugin, which is Gatsby source Git, and you set it to be to the course notes itself, to the repository. You select what branch you want to target, and you set the local directory of where you want to check or to clone this repository. So I've got this going into course notes. So this goes up into, when this gets built, there is a I don't think I've done it locally, but this will generate a folder called course notes, and you specify what you're actually looking for. So in this case, I want anything in notes and anything in transcripts that end with .md files. So there isn't any kind of like authentication level. There isn't any kind of like usernames or passwords or anything like this. It's a public repository, so there's no need. The course notes is public, so there's no need for that. Anyway, once that works, once you've pulled the files into this project, you then need to then go one step further, and somewhere, let's have a look at, there should be, where did I put it? There should be somewhere. Can't find it. Where did that go? Yeah, sorry, this automatically puts it into GraphQL. There we go. It puts it into GraphQL, and then I can use the markdown remark to pull that out. Now I'm just going to try and remember where that works. I think it's Gatsby node. No. Somewhere. Courses. I don't think so, because this is building pages, building nodes. Oh no, of course it won't be here. It'll be on the actual JavaScript. It will be in of course it won't. Gosh, it's been a while since I've played with this. If we go to templates and we go to lessons, here we go. Scroll to the bottom here. There should be, there we go. So we pass in, this is the GraphQL for this. We pass in the string, which is the slug for the tutorial, for the course, sorry, that's the course slug. This is the display order, this is the tutorial number. And we've put the note and the transcript in, and we've put them in via the the patterns, and that means now I can search for, in this case we can search for the note in GraphQL using the course slug that we've passed in here. The front matter is the stuff that we've put into this, so I can now search through each of these notes using the front matter, using these as sort of my data access points, I suppose. So we're searching for all course notes that have the course slug of PHP MySQL. So when we get to this bit here, we're saying I want to find all the notes that have the course slug, which matches the slug that we passed into this query, this GraphQL query, as well as the type. We want to equal that to be note, right? Because we have another type which is transcript, and also we want to get we want to pinpoint the tutorial number, which is the display order, and the display order is the thing that gets pulled in when we click on one of these. So if I did number 2, for instance, that's the display order. So it's just the number of the tutorial. If there isn't a display order, it gets automatically set to 1. Okay, so when we were to log in, when we get to say here, I'm gonna have to log in again. There is something wrong with the login routine. I'm gonna have to fix that, obviously. I just don't think it keeps the cookie for a long time. Okay, so yeah, so notice there isn't a display order. It's just this, and I've set that to be number 1. Which then pulls out this, which then, yeah, whilst it does the build, it then pulls that out. Now, obviously, this is happening whilst the Gatsby does the build, so it works through all of these things. So this isn't like this is all pre-built. This isn't like firing a fetch off to a database, to an API anywhere. This is all pre-built in the static HTML. Which means that it's nice and quick. So yeah, let's get back to that repo a minute. I'll just carry on. So we've got. So yeah, once we've got the display order, once we've got the slug, which is the course slug, and we have the type, we can pull out a single note. And the same goes for the transcript. So we pull out the course slug, we change the type to be transcript, and the tutorial number is the display order again, and we pull out the HTML, and it means that when we get to this point, which is, yeah, here, we can grab the course notes default GitHub message, do the data.notes, checking whether it's undefined or not, and if it's not, then we set the course notes. The default message is this, which just says edit on GitHub. And then, so we now have these two variables, the course notes and the course transcript, which will be the HTML from the things that we've just pulled out of GraphQL. And we should be able to put them down into here. So we dangerously set the inner HTML of the course notes, and the same for the transcript. So these are my 2 tabs. Which are these things. So that's done a build. So we will. That's a very good question. Hang on, bear with me a minute. I've missed a couple of questions. No, so the course notes isn't private. No, it's open source. Anybody can put in a pull request. There has been Mr. DB303. He's been putting in some course notes, which is cool. Yeah, that's definitely there. Yeah, definitely. So it basically pulls, as you mentioned, pulls downloads it all, and then builds the stuff from there. Yeah. So that's a good question about pushing the notes. So does a push to the notes repo trigger a build on Gatsby? Not at the moment. Not at the moment. And I don't know whether we should do that. I don't know, because I've had to go into AWS and do a redeployment. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether we should do that or not. I'm not sure. I don't know. I've got some hesitations about getting the building the site without my knowledge. You know, well, I know that I would do the pull request. I would merge that into the branches, but I'm just a bit sort of wary about having deployments. You know, not remembering that a deployment would be made based on this action. I still quite like the manual process of running a deployment, just because I know that I'm doing it and I'm here to sort it out. And also, let's say, for instance, we do, because there's, like I said, there's like 125 notes that need to be added at the moment. Something along those lines. So it's about over 100. That means that there's going to be 100 deployments per, you know. It might be worth if an evening I decided to just spend, 3 hours just building course notes, and I went through a whole, say I did 2 courses in an evening, because I had this, I just had some time spare. When does that ever happen? And yeah, so I would want to do a single deployment to cover all of those things. I wouldn't want to do a deployment for every pull request. So it might be that I sort of queue these things up. Anyway, that's been deployed. Let's do a refresh here. Let's see. So we've got these two. Gonna have to fix these. So let's see. If I was to click on that, no, it's still not working. Rats. Okay, that's still not working. Procedural and object orientated. I think it's because if we did view developer DevTools, it's probably because there isn't this isn't treated like an actual, no it's not. No, I think we're going to have to do the A tags in HTML. I think. And I don't know how that's going to work with the markdown remark stuff. I don't know how that's going to work, because it's converting markdown into HTML. I don't know if it detects whether there's existing HTML in the markdown and leaves it alone, or whether it tries to do something with it. So maybe what I should do is just put in a little issue to say, deal with this and we'll do it another time. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just get rid of the links, I think. I'm going to get rid of them, because that will solve the problem with that will solve the problem with the color of the link. So let's get rid of them. And I'm going to removing I'm gonna have to do all of this stuff locally to do a test on this. But for now, we'll just get this up as it is. So I'll do another PR on that. I don't want to get too bogged down in the weeds right away. Let's get to the branches. Click on this one here. I should have just removed those things. That's fine. What I have got working is, because this is a public repo, I have a webhook that fires into the Discord server, into the open source, channel. That's the word I'm looking for, channel. But I am sorry, I've only had half a cup of tea. I'm gonna have to go downstairs and get another one, I think. Okay, so that's been merged in again, and we'll do a quick redeployment of this one. We also did a number 4, I think. We did that the other day, so let's have a little look at that. There we go. That's how to delete. Cool. Okay. I'm happy that we've got the Prism.js working with the code highlighting. That's cool. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to pop down, grab a cup of tea, and then we'll probably work on another one. Although I tell you what, I do want to do a bit of Cypress today, because I've been playing around with Cypress. Yeah, maybe we should do some Cypress. Yeah, I've been playing around with how we can do end-to-end testing with this, because yesterday I spent most of the day yesterday watching Star Wars and trying to get the deployments of the portal site, this site, what you're seeing here, trying to get the deployments to do an end-to-end test, do a regression test in Circle CI, and I was having such a mare. I burned through all of the Circle CI credits, weekly credits. I burnt through the whole thing, the free weekly credits. Burnt through the whole thing in a single day, just because it was pure trial and error. Trying to get Selenium, Cucumber, and Chrome to play ball, and it was problematic. So anyway, I decided through a recommendation over Twitter to play with Cypress, and I managed to change all of the front-end tests into Cypress, or most of them at least, all the all the end-to-end tests, all the acceptance tests into Cypress, and it's really quite good. And I wouldn't mind looking at how we can improve that. So maybe we should do that rather than another code note. We'll do another code note, say maybe later on, or in another stream. So I'm going to grab a cup of tea, and then I'll be back. So yeah, I'll be a few minutes. Okay, so I've got my cup of tea now, so we'll let it cool. Hopefully not as cold as long as it was before. Right, I'm going to do some Cypress, but before I do that, we're going to just double check a couple of things. I did a deployment before I got a cup of tea, so I need to double check that. If we go to the here, click on the number 1, which we're here, we should have, if I did a refresh, hopefully. There we go. We have those two. I'm going to put in some issues. Now we have. I'm going to create an issue in here just to say investigate. Actually, I'll do it outside of the course notes. We'll do it in the portal site itself. So recently, I've moved the portal, the actual website, away from Bitbucket. It's now in GitHub. It is a private. Just because I'm getting so annoyed with Bitbucket and Atlatazam. Not annoyed, it just doesn't really feel... I just get frustrated. They've moved a lot of stuff. And because I'm trying to open source a lot of stuff with what I'm doing, it makes sense to have things under sort of one roof, rather than scattered around in different repos. So I'm just going to create a new issue here, and we're going to create an issue that is I need to get rid of these ticket templates, to be fair. That's an issue in itself, but I want to just do investigate course note links, anchor links. Anchor links are not as expected in the course note markdown. This would be useful. Well, it would be useful to use anchor links in a TOC, and I'll put a link to this as an example. So I'll assign that to myself. Obviously, we'll give that label as a investigation. Do I have that? No. Okay. Great investigation. Create a new label. That's fine. Okay. So I will submit that issue, and I will also create a new issue where we have, it's a styling thing. I need to sort this out. So this is list style not correct in course notes. At the moment, the lists in the course notes are not styled, because look, if we go to the site, that is supposed to be a list, and it just looks like words underneath each other. So this needs to actually come out and actually have like a list style, list type, that kind of stuff. And example there. Let's just put in the Okay, assign that to myself. Put in. I need to put in. This all needs to be automated, I think. Anyway, cool. So now that's done, and the deployment's gone through. I'm going to now change tack. I'm going to just close the laptop, and we're going to do Cypress. So I'm actually going to change the title of the stream. So learn Cypress JavaScript testing with me. Because I literally have only just played with it like last night. So trying out Cypress JavaScript, or trying Cypress. Sorry, I'm just trying to. Yeah. Because it's currently like trying out Cypress JavaScript testing. There we go. All right. Because the current title of this stream was like PHP, and well, we're not doing that anymore. So cool. All right. So let's deal with Cypress. So what I need to do is let's come out of. Oh, I tell you what. Let's tidy up this branch. Let's do a git checkout of main. Let's do a git pull of this, and then let's do. Come on. Let's do a git branch -d of whatever that branch was called, just to get rid of that. Good. Let's also go into the portal, which is in. That's the legacy version of the site. Is it in here? Yes, it is. Sweet. Let's do a git. First of all, let's do a git remote -v. It is GitHub, right? We are in the right site because there's obviously the old site. That's fine. Okay, let's do a git checkout of develop, and let's do a git pull. So there's a lot of change that I did yesterday. I should have done a git fetch, but whatever. Yeah, so we've now got some Cypress integration tests, and we've removed Cucumber. Bye. Gosh, yes, and there's changes to all sorts of things. ESLint, git ignore. The main one though is in here, the package JSON, the package lock file. Look at that. So let's do a git fetch first. Let's just fetch everything down. And then, okay, let's keep on the develop branch for a second. Let's actually just do an npm or an nvm. Make sure that we're using the right one. Let's now do an npm install. I don't know how long this is going to take. It's probably going to take a while. But I can show you as we go. Let me just make sure that this is the right. Yes, this is the right site. And we're in the develop branch. Okay, cool. So essentially what happens is if we close all the things, start from fresh, because this is still building, it's still going to take some time. We have the Cypress folder in here. We still obviously have jest tests, right? So we've still got those. But we've moved the end-to-end tests into the integration section of Cypress, and we have our features here. So this is the same set of features as we had before. There's not a lot of them, to be fair. And that's one of the things that I would like to improve today, is to add more feature tests. But for instance, let's have a look at the book page. For instance, I access the resources page. So yeah, the scenario is I access the resources page. So I request the page books. I should see the page title as yada yada yada, and then I should see that the highlighted link as books, so in the primary menu. And then I think we have this as a test where we pass in the data table of the links in the primary navigation. There's also this one here which checks for certain courses on the home page, on the courses page, sorry. So very light testing at the moment, extremely light, which is something I want to improve. And then what I did yesterday is I split up the actual steps into these little sort of bite-sized chunks of reusable code. So you pass in a variable here, and we use CY, which is Cypress. Location path name should equal the URL that we've supplied in here. And it's so lightweight compared to playing around with Selenium. Really is. Like, I was blown away by it, because literally, look at these. Most of them are like one lines. I mean, that's obviously going through a data table, so there's having to do a loop, but all of this is just a single line. So we're checking that an A tag contains the link text, and then we click it. And then this is changing the viewport to a Mac 16. Let's see, have this as this. Yeah. So now we're installing Cypress. And the interesting thing with Cypress is that it gives you like this sort of I don't know, this program, this application that you can actually see in. It's like a Chrome extension, I guess. It loads up Chrome in a Cypress kind of way, where you can see the tests in the left-hand side. You can see it all part going through, and it steps through the DOM and highlights the areas that it's looking for. It's really quite useful. And apparently it is there's some Circle CI orbs that I can use that should be apparently quite simple and straightforward to set up. Obviously I don't have any more Circle CI credits, so I can't do that, unfortunately. But we should now, hopefully, once we get the indexing done. Can you see that on stream? It's doing the indexing. Yeah, hopefully we should. Indexing dependencies. Ugh, this might take some time. Come on. There we go. So it's now read the ESLint check, which is here we put in the plugin Cypress recommended, which means that I can use this without any kind of silly ESLint warnings. All right, let's see if we can get this running. So so the first thing I need to do is build the site. So that's the first thing. We're going to split this up into two things. So we've got the build on this side. So we're going to do. Now I do have this in a make file somewhere. Make install local dev, is that the thing? Yeah, but it's not that, is it? Let's just have a look at Circle CI for a second, the config that I put in yesterday, because we kind of need to match that. So it is that's fine. That's the testing. Here we go, the acceptance testing. This is what I was struggling with yesterday, getting the browser tools and the Chrome versions and everything running, and the dependencies, and realizing that, if you don't have the environment variable set correctly, then you're not going to get the development dependencies, and anyway, here we go, pipeline test all, and then it's okay. So this is still doing Cucumber, so I haven't changed it to be that, but this I think I need to play with. Let's have a look at that on npm on package.json. That's what I'm looking for. pp, and pipeline test all does an npm run clean, npm run build, npm serve test. Serve test does a Gatsby serve -p on port 8082. Sweet. Let's run pipeline test all. It's not named. It shouldn't be named like that, to be fair. I'm not going to change anything yet. Let's do npm run pipeline test all, and it'll do those things. I'm going to take a slurp of tea. I will not be letting this tea go cold. And we've got our first failure. What's this all about? It's because I've pulled this down and I haven't set up the environment variables. Because I've switched this to GitHub, haven't I? So it's not on the... Brilliant. Okay, give me a second whilst I sort this all out. Okay, give me a mo. I'm gonna have to put that over there. Ugh. And we're gonna have to grab another one, which is... So that's Gatsby config. It's looking for... Yeah, no, I just haven't put any of my environment variables in. Oh, that's so frustrating. Yeah, give me a second whilst I look for that. That would be in code, would be in... Darn it. We're in the portal, and yeah, we're in there. That sucks. I may have to pull this down from my laptop, actually. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, give me a minute. I'm gonna just push some stuff across via airdrop from what do I need? I need all those, don't I? Yeah. And that. Marvelous. Okay, give me a second. Give me a minute whilst I sort this out. This is .env, and then the next one is test. And the next one is... So the reason why this isn't working is because the environment variables that I have not put through, obviously committed to the repo. I'm obviously missing on this build, so that's why this is. Ghost.json. I think that should cover it. All right, let's bring it over here a minute. I think that should work. Let's just see. All right, so we need that as a .env file. Obviously, I'm not doing this on stream, PHP. Okay, and then why is that? No. Strange. And then this is the other one. Brilliant. And then the next one is this one, which is the test version of that file. I should have set this all up before. I do apologize. And the one that it's complaining about is the JSON for the ghost, which is that, and it needs to be named as ghost.json. 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 Is that right? Or is it .ghost.json? Nope, I was totally wrong. Right. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's get rid of all of these now off of the thing. Okay, cool. Okay, so we should be back in the room. And if I was to run this now, again, it should pick up those things that we've just put through. Hope I haven't done that wrong. There we go. Okay. So now it's running the build. Sorry about that. I just totally forgot that I had switched to GitHub, and I just didn't put in the config. Fingers crossed. That should be good. It seems to be working its way through. So this is there is a note here: unable to find Prism language MySQL for highlighting. Apply generic code block. Okay, that's fine. I suppose that could just be bash, right? So once this builds, it should be running off of port 8082 in a sort of a production-esque environment, which should be the same as what we were looking at before on the beta site. So this is what I was saying earlier. I mentioned that there's a lot of JSON that gets fired out. This is the API, and I was using this as just some debug. So it's just doing a console log at this point. Here we go. So we got the local host running up port 8282. Let's see if that works. Which it does. This is the site. This is now running locally, which is good. So now we can test this using Cypress, right? So so you can see the .cache and the .public have been added there. I'm just going to get rid of the code notes for a second and make this a wee bit bigger. So in our packaged JSON file here, we have this Cypress open and Cypress run. So Cypress run does the command line variant of of what you can do on Cypress open. I'll do Cypress open first, so I can show you the tool. So Cypress, I need to actually be in the directory, don't I? npm. Let's make sure that the NVM is in the right thing that always gets me. npm run Cypress open. So this is going to open a new, well, after it verifies, and I think it does a download. Here we go. So can you see it's verifying the Cypress.app? So this should load up, hopefully. Here we go. Can you see that? This little tool here. This is cool. So this lists all the tests. So these are the tests that we've got running in Cypress integration. So all of these feature files, and then and you can click on these and it will do a run. So or you can run all 6 of them. So let's just run one of them. So let's run the books page. So books page, I'll just go through this quickly. When I request the page books, I should see the title as coding books, how to code well, and I should see the highlighted link as books. So if we click on that, it should bring up Chrome, which it is, and let's make it a wee bit smaller. You should see that this is now loading the test suite, and on the right hand side you should see that the site gets built, and then this is the log. So you can see the first thing it did was when this is the suite. So I request this is the gherkin. When I request the page books, setting the viewport on max 16, it then does all of these things. So you can kind of hover over and step through each one of these. Then I should see the title as code, and I can't see the rest of that. Code books, how to code well, and you can see that it's gone green. And then underneath here, it should say, I should see the highlighted link as books, and it's pulling out. Can you see it's a bit small? Let me drag this back out a bit. Can you see that hovering over it? So it's pinning that down, and then that's green. So it does an assertion. And it's super quick, I think. Super quick, and it's doing a snapshot at each on these stages, which is cool as well. And if we came out of this and then stopped that, and I can run all 6 of them. So we'll do that now. So this is running them all together, and this does them in a single window, whereas beforehand when I was dealing with Selenium and Chrome, it would just come out with loads of Chrome windows, which was annoying, and I was struggling with getting it headless. But in this case, I don't actually need to do it headless. So can you see it's now going through each one of these tests, and they've all passed. Yeah. And I can click on these, and I can see how the snapshot has done its thing. That for some reason that was cancelled, but then that came 200 OK. Okay, bear with me just a second. I should have put this on silent. That's what I should have done. There we go. I shan't be bothered. So yeah, Selenium was painful to set up, whereas this, it's just kind of out the box, and it works. It works a treat. And I'm really happy with the speed. I mean, this did it really quickly, and the documentation of Cypress as well is really good. So what I want to do is play a bit more around with this, I think. Hey, Scavendan, thank you for joining. You're crawling to the coffee machine. That's very true, Tuna. That could be, it could be the SQL rather than MySQL. Hey, Murphy's just entered the room. Murphy's a little upset because it's snowing, or has been snowing. And because it's been snowing, we haven't been able to get to the forest. So we've been taking him out locally, like, just locally around the block. And there's a hill that we take him out to. A big sort of hill with lots of like walkways around it, which is nice, but it's not as good as the forest. And on Christmas Day, we took him out to the beach, which he really liked. But because it's been snowing since Christmas, it's only been soft snow here, but at the forest, apparently it's bad. And the roads aren't great, so we haven't been able to get into the forest yet, unfortunately. We don't really want to get stuck out there. Okay, so I'm glad they all work. That was good. Let's go and take a look at what we can do with this. So I'm going to just load up Cypress documentation. And we're going to go to the docs. What I wouldn't mind doing is getting some indication of code coverage. And I'm sure there's a way of doing this in Cypress. In fact, what I might do, can I do code coverage? Is there code coverage? There is a plugin and detailed documentation on how to get end-to-end unit test full stack code coverage. Read our code coverage guide. Apparently there is. Let's have a look on this one. As you write more end-to-end tests, you'll find yourself wondering, do I need to write more tests? Okay, yeah, cool. Yada, yada, yada. Get me into the thing, please. So, okay, imagine we have, yep. So I think this is talking about the way in which it measures the coverage, I think. Computing the source code line that were executed during the test is done through code coverage. Code coverage requires inserting additional counters into your source code before running it. This step is called an instrumentation. Instrumentation takes code that looks like this and parses it to find all function statements and branches, and then inserts counters into the code. For the above code, it might look like this. I see. So we're actually counting the amount of times these things go through. That's fine. If you're unfamiliar with code coverage or want to learn, take Understanding JavaScript Code Coverage blog, part 1 or 2. That's fine. I'll skip that for a minute. This guide explains how to instrument the application source code using common tools. Then we show how to save the code coverage information and generate reports using the Cypress Code Coverage plugin. After reading this guide, you should be able to better target your tests. Yeah, so I know in my head what tests are missing. There's loads of them, but I wouldn't mind getting some sort of measurement of this. I'm not looking to get 100% code coverage at all, but I'm looking to get a higher confidence value. So this guide explains how to, okay. So instrumenting code. Cypress does not instrument your code. You need to do it yourself. Okay, so the golden standard for JavaScript code instrumentation is the battle-hardened instable, and luckily it plays very nicely with Cypress Test Runner. You can instrument the code as a build step through one of two ways. So use the NYC module. So I've never used this before. So I don't, or maybe I have, but not directly. Maybe I was using it for in another package perhaps. A command line interface library as part of your code transpilation pipeline using Babel. Okay, so these are the two ways, right? One of two ways. So using NYC, we would do NYC compact false src instrumented. We are passing the compact false flag to generate human-friendly output. Okay. It takes your original code fragment, that's React, and wraps each statement with additional counters that track how many times the source has gone through. Right. Okay. Yep, increment the statement counters, all counters, and additional bookkeeping information stored in a single object attached to the browser's window object. Okay. I see. Okay, yes. So you can, right, okay. Instead of using the npx instrument command, we can use the Babel plugin Istanbul to instrument the code as part of the transpilation, add the plugin to the Babel RC file. So we would do that. We can now save the, so is this the plug, we would have to commit that, right? Actually pull that down, that's fine. We can now serve the application and get the instrumented code without the intimate folder. Okay, the E2E2, this is what I care about, the E2E code coverage, because all of this stuff is, it looks like it's unit testing, I think. E2E code coverage. To handle code coverage collected during each test, we created a Cypress code coverage. Install the plugin. Okay, then add the code below to support file, plugin file. Okay, and then see the code coverage. Okay, NYC reports a text summary. To see the code coverage, after tests run, then run the following command. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I need to do here. I think first of all I need to download this plugin here, and I also need to deal with the NYC. Do I need to deal with NYC? Do I need to deal with that? Instrumenting your code using NYC, using the NYC module as a command interface to Istanbul, or as part of your code transpile pipeline using the Babel plugin. I think I might use that actually rather than this in NYC, just because we're using Babel anyway, and yeah, let's give it a go. So skipping over NYC for a second. There we go. Instead of using the npx command, we can use the Babel plugin. Let's do that. So we're going to open that up. And we should see some documentation here. There we go. So we're going to copy that in. Yeah, we'll just close that out and we'll run this in. I'll put this in a branch before we do anything. So git checkout -b, and we'll do features Cypress code coverage, and we'll do the installation, and we'll add this to the Babel RC in test mode. Hello. Optionally use the cross env. Hey, thank you for following, Assange Bhai. Thank you very much for following. I appreciate that. Thank you. I hope you had a good Christmas, if you're celebrating Christmas, or some holidays, some time off. What's time off? I don't know. Okay, so we're putting that in, and we're going to put that in as a plugin into our Babel RC file, right? So that goes into here. We have presets already defined, so we need to have plugins. Okay. So that was installed. Sweet. And the next thing then I need to do, whoa, I'll come over here, check out Cypress code coverage for a full example of different code coverage setups. E2E, and we also need this one. So then add the code below to your support file and the plugins file. So the support file, I don't know if I've got one. In support we have index. Oh, we do have one. Okay, fair enough. So that support index we pass in, import into here. We'll put it down in there. And we have the Cypress plugins index.js. Cypress plugins index.js. Here we go. And so all of this needs to be in here, right? It should be there, right? It should be code coverage require. So underneath. I think that's right. Module.exports on config. Module exports on config. On. Okay. Okay, that's just quotes. On.config. Is that right? On.config. Okay, fine. Okay, so when you run the Cypress tests now, you should see a few commands after the test finish. We have highlighted these commands using the green rectangle. So these things here. Okay, so have we got this installed yet? Yeah, we have. So let's do the Cypress open once more. Let's run them all. Why not? Your tests are loading. Okay, here we go. Okay, code coverage tasks. Okay, we got something. I'll just let these go through. But we had a notice here. Code coverage tasks were not registered by the plugin file. Right. So there's obviously something not right with my setup. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to the documentation. We'll start at the top. So this is an explanation. Then we went to the instrumenting, and we're using one of two ways. We're using the Babel plugin, not the NYC module. So the Babel plugin is defined here. So instead of using the npx instrument command, we can use the Babel plugin to instrument the code as part of the this. So add the plugin to the Babel RC file. We can now serve the, check out the Windows code coverage, for example, projects showing the different. Yeah, let's just load that up for a second. Internal examples before visit. Do we have an example here? So we got the Babel RC file, plugins installable. So let's have a look at. Let's do a comparison. Plugins transform class properties. Oh right, okay. No, we don't need that. We just need. I see. We just need that. Okay, we just need that. Okay, and then in their Cypress folder that we should have in the plugins, in index, there should be a also use the Babel RC file when building spec files to get code coverage from the unit tests. Really? That's different. That's a different thing to what they mention on the actual documentation, right? So I don't know what tab it is in now. In here. They just say install it and put it in there. Okay, a really nice feature of both NYC and the Babel plugin is that the source maps are generated automatically, allowing us to collect code coverage information, but also interact with the original non-instrumented code in the developer tools. In the screenshot above, we can see the green arrow. Okay. The NYC and the Babel plugin are only instrument application code and not third-party dependencies from Node modules. Okay, that's fine. E2E, okay, so I think there's a problem with my setup at this point, but also let's just have a look down here too. We did that in Cypress support index. Cypress support index in too many things open. Cypress support index. We put that in. Import Cypress code coverage. So the IDE's found that. We are also going to check the example as well. So let's go to Cypress here, go into support and click on index.js. We have import support. Oh, great. Okay, so import support. That's annoying. Support.js, here we go. So I'm looking for, oh gosh, there's lots of stuff in here. There's lots of stuff in there. Let's have a look at that for a second. Okay, it doesn't seem to be in there. It might be part of the support utils though. Okay, let's brush past that for a second. Next is the plugins index.js. That's what we added. Now this is at the top, so I'm wondering if it could be a thing to do with, I don't know, the order in which things are. So we put this at the bottom. Let's bring this at the top here. Okay, let's run this all again, and let's just see how this all works. Come on, there we go. Support issue. See support issue for possible workaround Cypress code coverage. Okay, let's click on that. Here we go. Support should not send code coverage unless plugin tasks has been registered. So in a situation where the support file has been registered, but there is no task in the plugin file, we should not try to call the code coverage task. Example situation, plugin files, false, support file. Okay, let me just double check that. In fact, because I remember that. That's in the Cypress.json here. We have the test files and the base URL. That's fine. So we don't have any different support files or anything like that. Maybe if the plugins can set a variable when registering a task. Okay, I think I'm overlooking something pretty big here. Let's go back to the original docs. Okay, code coverage as a guide. Even a single end-to-end test can cover a lot of application code. For example, let's run this. After running, you get this report. Combining code coverage from parallel tests, E2E and unit tests, code coverage. Okay, no, maybe I'm not. Maybe we should, maybe we should look at using NYC. I haven't missed anything in here. We can serve the application. Right. Maybe what we need to do, that's an idea. Maybe what we need to do is rebuild the whole thing. That's probably what we need to do. Yes, I think that's probably what we need to do. Let's do that. So, because remember, this was built running off of develop, like way before I did all these changes. So let's do that build, and then let's also come out of this for a second. Let's give this a whirl. I'm just getting too ahead. Impatient. But yeah, it would be nice to get the code coverage on this. That is bugging me. That's my SQL language, isn't it? Let's just, whilst this builds, because this will take a wee bit of time, let's do Prism JS. And there is something down here, isn't there? Examples. Download. Here we go, languages. Do we have the language for... We don't. But do we have the language for SQL? We do. So I'm wondering then, as Tyrannid's mentioned, as he said, why, it could be that on the course notes, the SQL, because I've got a feeling this is coming from, in, where's this? This is the course notes in the SQL that I put in for the delete thing in here. I think this is right. Go into notes. I think it's number 4, which it is, and I think it is that if we click on, I think it's this. So if I click on raw here, I think this is using, yes, MySQL. And I think that needs to be set to SQL. Yeah. Whilst that runs, I'm going to quickly do that. So let's. It's already built. Okay, let me just quickly do this whilst. Course notes. Okay, so let's load up. Where are we? It was PHP, MySQL. No, PHP and MySQL. And it was in Notes, and it was 04. And I think it's that. So I think we just do that. Okay. Oops. Just double checking. Yeah, I think that's cool. All right, let's do a git push origin. I can't spell origin. What is this? Fixes MySQL. Excellent. Let's go over quickly to here and deal with that PR. What do you mean there's nothing to... What do you mean there's nothing to change? Oh, I need to commit it. Lol. Oh dear. Replacing. Dear, oh dear, Pete. Come on. This is what happens when I try and do too many things at once. So replacing MySQL with SQL. Lol. Git push origin fixes. It's like, what? Even it was yellow, not green. Silly me. All right. Lol. There we go. Okay, so we're going to set this as a typo, and I'm just going to do a pull request here, and it should be... Oh, that's not very good, is it? Silly. Let's just edit that. These get me all the time, these things. Let's just have a quick check. Just a quick check before I press the big button. MySQL, and that was the only thing that was changed. Boom, boom, and I can't review my own work, unfortunately. Okay, happy with that? Good. In you go. Off you go. Done. And yes, we'll delete the branch, and we will also clean this up. Git branch -d, and it fixes MySQL. Bye bye. Okay, right. Let's just get rid of this now. Boom. Right. So back to where we were. Sorry about that. That's a bit of a sidestep. We need to run this again. So I can't remember which tab it's in. This one. All right. Let's just do a refresh. Good stuff. And then we need to run Cypress open. I'll run all the things again. And fingers crossed. I'll tell you what, whilst this is doing this, I'll do another deployment of the beta site just to get that change in, just so we can see if that actually works. This is, oh no, that code coverage task still hasn't done it. This is me multitasking. Or at least trying. All right, let's redeploy that version. Okay, there we go. Okay, so code coverage tasks were not registered by the plugin file. So it's obviously talking about this plugin file. Obviously. Cypress code coverage task. It's saying that it's not registered. Which is weird because I've done everything. I think I've done everything that the documentation mentions, which is install the plugin. Please consult the code coverage documentation for up-to-date installation instructions. Let's just take a look at that, shall we? Okay, so we install that, we've done that. Then we note this plugin assumes Cypress is a peer dependency and has already been installed in your project. Yes, it has. Add this to the support index.js, which we've done. So if we go to I'm just going to double check these things. So we've put this into the support file, which is in here, there, and we've put that into there. So if we go over to here, we should see that we registered this. That's what we've done. And then instrument your application. So this plugin does not instrument your code. You have to instrument it yourself using Istanbul. Luckily, it's not difficult. For example, if you're already using Babel to transpile, you can use the Babel plugin Istanbul to your Babel RC file and instrument on the fly. So I'm wondering if this is the thing that's causing the issue. Please see examples section below. You can probably find a link project matching this situation on how to instrument your application. So I think there's a problem here. It's Babel RC. I think it's not reading that for some reason. Let me just take a look at my package JSON file for a second. Just wondering if there's any configuration I've got in here to do with Babel, and it doesn't look like it. No. Okay. Do I got Babel installed, right? Yes, I do. It's not because this is a dev dependency and I'm running this in production mode. It could be that, potentially. No, I'm running in test mode, so that should be okay. You can add the Babel plugin to your Babel instrument on the fly. Okay. This is the plugin. Having problems, want to contribute, join our blah blah blah. Okay, so we've done that. Ah ha 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 ha. Yes, I think I need to set the environment. Integrations. Optionally use cross env to set node env. Gotcha. Because when we run the package JSON file, when we run the pipeline test all whatever it is, we do npm run clean, npm run build, and I think that defaults to production mode. I think. And what we're doing here is we're saying that we are supplying an env variable. So I don't think this is working because I don't think the environment is set. I think that's my thought process. If I was to scroll up to up here past, I'm gonna have to I will get rid of all of this console logging. Let's do that now because that's gonna drive me nuts. Let's just quickly get rid of that console log. That would be coming from the plugins. Sure, it will be in there. Was it debug? Unless it's it could be. It's not the account. It's not the auth. It's not the customer. It's not the tags. It's the data. It's in lessons. This is the logging. Let's get rid of it. Okay, because what I want to do is build that again. I want to see what the environment variable is that gets set. Running production. Yeah, running production. Okay, so this should be in Babel ASC, I'm wondering if we need to have an environment variable, sort of an option here. So where you've got the env, production, plugins, something like that, maybe. Or what I could do is I could set the environment variable on the build. So we could set it here, like node env, like I've done here. So at this point, npm. So we could do that as develop or dev. Yeah, let's give that a whirl. I think that might be it. Let's just kill this. So has that changed the environment variable? No, it's still in production. Why is it still in production? Node env dev npm run build. That's the thing that's happening here. Which is this. Right. I'll tell you what. Rather than hacking this up, I think what I'm going to do, let's kill it, is do Gatsby clean. We'll do this individually. npm run Gatsby clean. Missing script Gatsby. npm what? Yes, of course. npm clean. And then we'll do, so that one is this one. We'll do the run build, which is this one, and we'll do that, but we'll do it with the develop environment variable. So we'll put that in, but we'll do node env equals, let's do dev, and we should see, fingers crossed, there we go, it's still production. Whoa, 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 why is that? Why is that? Helps if you spell it right. Echo running, no, that's fine. Here we go. Node env, that's what it's pulling out. It's doing it on the Gatsby config. And it's doing it off of .env. .env process env. Right, so let me see. I'm going to just get another window that's off stream, and then I'm just going to do some checking with the environment variables. Bear with me a second whilst I do all this. Portal cat. Let's do an ls minus al. Right. .env. Right, let's do that. Cat of .env. Okay, cat of .env. Dot. Okay, so I think it's reading that one, unless it's test. Okay. All right, I think what I'm going to try and do is get instable. It's probably not, it's not the wisest thing, but I think what I'm going to do is put that in here with test, a don't think this is wise, but we'll give it a go anyway, just to see if this works off of production. Plugins. And we'll put that in as well. That doesn't look right. It needs to be in here. Alright, let's kill this once more. Run it. Oh. Damn it. Let's run that. Actually, we could probably get away with doing the this. Okay, if you're instrumenting code pragmatically, you can pass the source maps in explicitly. So, instrument source code, source maps, file name. Okay. So we're still running off of production. That's fine. If I can't get this to work, then I think we'll just add some more tests rather than fight this. I've only started learning Cypress like, yesterday afternoon. So there's still a huge amount that I need to learn, and I would rather do that sort of try and struggle with this maybe later off stream, just so I can swear. No, I'm not a sweary person. Come on. There we go. So this is where it would normally do all that crazy output. Okay, so we're back in the room. Okay, so let's run the Cypress open once more, and let's see if we can get, fingers crossed, that oh, I need to do a serve. Do I need to do a serve? No, serve's already done. So let's run that. It's probably some setting somewhere that I just haven't turned on, or some configuration where it comes out of production mode or a different environment variable, and it just doesn't allow. Yeah, still got the problems here. Still got the problems with the code coverage. That's a shame. That's a shame. But I will struggle on regardless. I think what I'll do then is let's take it into a different direction. So let's just kill all that. Let's kill all that, and I'm going to let's just clear. Let's just do a git checkout of develop. And then do a git I kind of want to I'll just do it through I'll be lazy, I'll do it through here. Let's do a git roll back. Just want to roll them all back. Plugins, lessons, apart from you. No, that's fine. We'll roll it all back. That's all right. Don't worry. So I will tackle that again. npm install some other time. Never mind. What I will do though is work on a test for the login page. That's what I wanted to really get on and do, which is this one here. When you hit login, So we'll wait for this to do its thing. So it's probably going to remove the packages that need to be removed, and we'll do a git status. Okay, git. That's fine. Let's do a unversion file. I think these files came through when I did the install for some reason. Although we've got that import. Let's get rid of that for a second. Yeah, okay. Let's do a git checkout of features. I'm going to do, features. Test login. Okay. Git checkout -b, sorry. There we go. Okay. Right, so I'm on the top here, I'm going to do the build. So we do the pipeline test all on this side, and on this side we're going to build a test. So in Cypress, in integration, I would like to have, we're going to copy this over, login page. Okay, so feature, login. So scenario, login to the my account. Okay, so when I request the normal page, the login page, so I request the login page. So if we were to do this on the beta, as this is still doing its thing, so if we go to the beta site, which is this one, so we click on, we're going to have to log out, of course, click on login, right, so /login, we should have, we should see that we have login. So we'll put this in. I should see the page title as, what's the page title? As how to code well, log into your account. So the page title is log in to your account. Okay, and then I should see the highlighted text. I don't think there is any. There isn't. I should see the form. So this is a new thing that we're going to have to build. And does the form have any kind of thing in it? So we've got a div, we've got inputs, form, action, class. No, it doesn't have an ID. It doesn't have any IDs on that form. But we do have inputs that we can target. And we've got a login button and a forgotten password thing. So I tell you what, let's just narrow this down a wee bit. So I should see, how should I do this? I enter username, and we pass in the username. Then I enter password. Then I submit form. Then there's a redirection job, I think, somewhere. I should see somewhere in here. Home page. Is it this one here? Yeah, I request the page courses. I should see the courses. No, that's not it. Here we go. I should be redirected to courses. So this is. Then I should be redirected to, and I think it's. Is it not my account? Or just account /account. Here we go. So that's the test. So I request the page login. I should see the title as login to your account. I enter the username, I enter the password, I submit the form. Then I should be redirected to that. I think that's kind of a good test, I believe. Let's I reckon that was failing because these are now undefined. I'll have to have a look at why those are when I do a serve. Anyway, okay, so I literally just made that up. So let's go and have a look and see if there's any documentation. Obviously, I would imagine someone's done this before, right? So if we is there anything in here, just out of interest, is there anything on here about logging in? Let's put in, no. Okay, let's put in Cypress login example. Testing your app in Cypress. Just want to see if there's an example, sample spec. I visit this page, configure, that's all done. Testing strategies, seeding data. We don't need to do that. However, we do need to, at some point, we need to do a request. Oh yes, here we go. We do need to do an API request to seed some user data. And then an API request to tear that data down. But at the moment, because I'm running against staging, it should be okay. Okay. Oh, there is a section here, logging in. Excellent. Okay, so describe the login page. So before each test, then we do some seeding. We don't need to worry about that. Okay, so this sets the auth cookie when logging in via the submission. So we get this current user, we deconstruct that, CY visit login, then we get the username, and I guess that's typing, entering that in as the username, and then we put that in as a password, and oh, that's interesting. Enter causes the form to submit. That's really cool. So let's change this up a wee bit. Yeah, well, that there is me doing this. I enter the username, and then this one here is the password thing. However, I split out the submission of the form, so we might be able to do a click or something rather than putting in the enter. Then this is the redirection, so this would be at this point here, and then this is our auth cookie should be present. Okay, let's just run this at the moment as it is. So login page feature. If I was to run, come on, Cypress open. We should see that new feature being added to here. Here we are, login page. And if I was to run that, it would fail at some point. I request the login page, so the login page, you've just seen it. So that went through. I should see the title, so that went through. And then here I enter the username, so there isn't anything to catch that. So we need to add in our code for that. So if they do it in sort of a single describe block. And what I've been doing is I've been splitting them out into common sections. Let's do. I don't know if I should just keep doing that or have a part in here which is login login page might get away with that. Let's do new JavaScript file. Let's do login. Is it that .js? Is that what I should be doing? I don't really know. I've got no idea. Sample spec, integration sample spec. See it, right, okay, homepage dot spec. Now let's create a sample spec for the homepage. Gotcha. Okay, next you'll need to, so that's the homepage spec. Right, so it's spec.js. So this is login page, refactor, underscore spec.js. Okay, and let's see, it should be, we don't need to worry about stubbing the server. So describe the login page. Okay. So we don't need to worry about the before each on this occasion. We do need to worry about, let's just set this to fix those, and it. So we will put in redirects to the account when after logging in. Yeah. Hey Marco. And this now runs a function. And in here we put in our magic, right? So we're going to set some variables up. So we do const username, const password, and we will get those out of the test site in a minute. Okay, so the next one is to visit the, if we did cy dot visit the, whoops, the login. Then after that, we are doing the get of that, pulling out the username and the password. So this would be cy dot get, and we would pull out the input, and we'll check against our input. If I can find the debugger. Username, and this is probably going to be password. Input type password, name is password. Yeah, so it's exactly the same. So this is username. Is that right? Is that the right thing? Name is username, of course. Name is equal to username. And do we put in, no, we don't put in anything else. We just, and then we type. So this is typing into that box the username that we've defined above. So let's just copy that and change that to password. Now, of course, I'm using Gherkin, so I need to marry this up to these sort of routines. So when, then, and all that jazz. So it's this isn't just gonna do the thing. So I need to write these out, don't I? Like this. Let's get another one, which is then. So let's grab that, put that into here. I think this is what I need to do. I think this is what I need to do. So it's going to kind of like... So when I click the link, so this says on the login feature, when I request the page... No, that's wrong, isn't it? Right, when I... In fact, that's already taken care of, isn't it? It's the specs specifically for the things that I'm doing. Yeah. So, in fact, this doesn't make any sense. What I should be doing, we don't need a when, we need a then. We need to just, I think what I need to do is just target these three, because these three are the new ones. So I need to do I enter username. I think this is what I need to do. I think so. The proof will be in the pudding, of course. So I enter username. So this is cy get input username. It's this essentially, isn't it? Then I enter the username. We pass in the username that will come from the spec. Then I enter password. So password is this. So we pass in the password and the password and the password. I've just realized I haven't had my breakfast yet. My stomach is starting to rumble. Okay. So I enter password, and then we need to do the I submit form. I think this is what I need to do. I submit form. Now this is going to be doing the pulling down that button. So we do, where is this? Here, button ID save. So I should be able to pull out the I get. I wonder if I can do... Is it save? I wonder if I can do that. And then do click. Okay. So obviously this isn't going to bring anything back, so let's just get rid of all of those things. Okay. Yeah, no, it's still regex, isn't it? So, is it that? There we go. Whoops. What's it complaining about? It is oh no. It is a function, isn't it? Yes. Just without anything being passed. There we go. Is that... Are you complaining that there's a space there? No. Okay. So I wonder if that will cover it. Because these two are set. I don't know why the IDE doesn't know where the steps live. So I request the page login should go to I request the page, and then you pass in the login, right? And then it should go. I should see the page title as log into your account. That should go to. I should see the page title, and then you pass in that, and it should be there. Then we should get to the new stuff, which is I enter the username, I enter the password. Now the difference is that instead of having these as individual files in common, I've just put these into the login spec. So I'm hoping it's just going to go, oh yeah, those are in there, and then these are going to be in the login spec. I don't know if this is going to work, not a clue. So then it'll do I enter username, I enter password, then I submit form, and then we should come back to this bit here, I should be redirected to /account. So that should be, I should be redirected to, and then it should equal the path name of the location to be /account. I think. Hopefully. Who knows? Let's have a go. So stop this and then run this again. I don't know. Is it going to work? Don't know. Okay, no, it's thrown an error. Then I enter. Oh, right. Well, we actually have to pass in the username. Step implementation is missing for I enter username. Step implementation. Okay. Maybe I need to create an individual file, but that just seems mental if I have to create one file for every single particular step. I know I'm doing it slightly differently than the norm because I'm using Gherkin, the Gherkin language. So, and in Cypress, let me think about this. So Cypress, common, how to integrate Cypress and Cucumber in your development. There we go. So we've got your integration. How to do the specs. So that's what I added in yesterday, and then we've got import given when and then. So the easy way to write code for Cucumber is like this, sure, using the page object pattern. Given when, yeah, they seem to be doing it on one page. So in common, we have the Google JS, and then you've got Google, and then you've got these three, and then you've got the features. So I think it's a case of mixing and matching, I think. Integrating with Jenkins, that's going too far. How specs work. Right, you can also tell Cypress not to show JavaScript file. Okay, fine. The way to organize your features and your JavaScript code is quite easy. So you would put in your features into here, all within the integration. And then you would have these. So feel lucky.feature is feel lucky search. I don't know about that. Search is then down here. Don't follow that. All your tests must go into Cypress integration folder at the same level as the feature in the folder. Create a folder with the same name as the feature. For example, if you have feel-lucky.feature, create a folder called feel lucky. So in here I would have login underscore page, I think, right? So I would have login underscore page as the folder, and then I'm guessing that we would inside the folder create as many JavaScript files as scenarios as the feature has, right? So these just look like JS files. So I think it's what these specs are. So let's put that into there for a second. Okay. So I wonder if it's going to look at this whilst looking at this. Let's give that a blast. So let's do stop and run. No. So we got to the I request the login page. So we got to that bit there, and we got to the point where it's checking the title of the thing. And then we get then I enter, and I've got a type thing. I don't know what that's about. Cypress type cannot accept an empty string. Okay, so no, it is running. I've just set it as an empty string. Okay, fine. So what we'll do then is we've got a test account that I'm going to play with, which is, if I can find the, let's log out. The test account is this one here. So it should be the same username as the same password, I think. Let's just pass that in as the username, and we should pass that in. I think that's correct. As the password, I think. Hey, sorry for ignoring the chat. Take care, Trinid. Prepping some food, nice. Enjoy. I need to get my breakfast. It's like 11 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't had my breakfast yet. And I've been doing this since what, 7, 8, something like that. I'm doing good, thank you. Hugh Jane's word. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm doing fine, apart from feeling very hungry. Okay, so we've submitted this now. Oh, look, it worked. Ha 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 ha. It worked. Look at that. That's so cool. I didn't expect that to just suddenly work, but it does. That is so cool. I'm really happy with that. Obviously, I mean, this is obviously going up and down the snapshot. So what we've done here is we requested the login page. Then we check that the title is correct in the page title. Then I submit the username as 031021. And I enter the password as the same thing. I then submit the form. So I get the click event here, and I click it. And then I should be redirected to /account, which I do. We have just tested the positive path of the login form. Now, obviously, there's negative paths that we have to test. So, for example, when people put in incorrect details, that kind of thing. But that's cool. And we should also check that the cookie is set and everything. Is there... I thought I saw a way of doing that. Here. So get your get cookie session cookie. So our cookie would be, if we did view developer. So this is on the beta site, right? So it's obviously going to be different. I think I got this working or running. Let me just see. So if we go to network and log in, or is it application? Yes, application. Log in. There we go. We got a cookie. So I don't know why it's not showing though. Where's the cookie gone? So I'm selling stuff in session, but not in... I probably haven't merged that branch in, actually, because I did change this to use HTTP only cookies. And they don't appear to be coming up here. So, yeah, I will put in a note in the portal to test for that on issues. New issue. Oh god, I want to get rid of this. This is just the default stuff that you get when you use a Gatsby site. This is so test HTTP test login cookie. So adjust the login test, login E2E test, E2E test, to ensure or to check for cookie, for a valid cookie, and we're going to assign this to myself. We're going to set the labels. Probably have to create a new one for test. Whoops. create a new label, test. Let's see, let's choose a color. Let's go with that'll do. Okay, cool. Okay, sweet. Oh, I'm so happy that we can log in as a test there. That's really cool. The GitHub talk. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have the code spaces access? I meant on Cypress. No, I don't think I do. I literally only started using Cypress yesterday afternoon, so not even 24 hours in to doing Cypress. But for some reason, it's just been very well. For some reason, it's because it's been engineered so well. It's so snapped together. I've been able to convert all the tests, all the end-to-end tests. There wasn't many. There was like, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 features. But I was able to quickly change those from Cucumber and Selenium and the Chrome driver, Selenium web driver, into Cypress very, very quickly yesterday, which blew me away when doing it. And I really love this. This is so good to walk back from, and it's super quick as well. I'm bowled over by the speed of it. Okay, so that's the login page. Now, let's also have a check for so I'm only worried about positive roots at this stage of the game. So we should check that the button says your account, and we should check that says welcome to your dashboard. So let's do then login button should say your account. The logout button should be shown, then the logout button should be shown. Should be shown. And also we should see, then the logout button should be shown. The login, then the login button should say your account. The logout button should be shown. The, what else? Then, can you do and? Because then it's kind of like, can I do and? Is that a thing? It is, yeah. Okay. Then I should be redirected to your account. Can I do and? Right. Okay. So if we went up to the login page itself, we need to change some of this stuff. So when we get to the here, can we do right, can I grab that from here? Yes. Sweet. So can I now do, and the login page should say your account. Login button, sorry. Now the reason why I put this in commas, in quotes, is because I might change that to be the username itself rather than just your account, because what I'm doing here is I'm targeting that button, which this one here. So that should be, well, it's more like this, isn't it? To be fair, because, and then that's and this here is that, which is this one. So this should be button text. And we should get the save thing. Save. And I think no, that's not right, is it? That's not right. It's that up there, not the save button. Let's see if we can get it from here. If we hit login and log in. And if we view the source or the dev tools, it's that button that I want to try and target. Where'd it go? This one. That's the block. That is your account. A link. There isn't anything to pull it out, unfortunately. Like, it doesn't have its own ID. I could get it through. I could find it by the text, maybe. Oh right, their talk was on the GitHub universe. Okay, cool. No, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. That's an A tag, I think. And that's not type. That is has text. So that would be should, and this should be should have dot text. And that's the button text, but we need to actually pull that link down. So we need to get that button there. Let's just see if I can pull that out. A dot should have button text. So this is at this point here. So the button should say, the login button should say your account. It's not the login button. The it's not the login button, is it? It's well, it is it was the login button. So, but this is the my account button. Right, let's see, has that gone through? Okay, so we come to here, we pass in the username, page loaded int username. Not sure why that's red. Pass in the username. Is it because this is failing because of the fact that there's a cookie already set and it's already thinking that you're already logged in, probably. Let's kill this for a second, and let's just pass in the other things. So the logout button should be shown. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. As it's 11:15, I'm going to shoot down and grab some breakfast, and I need to take the dog out as well. But we're getting there slowly. I will continue this on after the stream, and I will let everybody know on the Discord servers, on the Discord server and on Twitter when the next stream is. But I'm getting incredibly hungry, and I also my watch is telling me that I need to look after the pup. It's dog walk time. Cool. Thank you ever so much for watching. Happy coding, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Bye bye.